Well, I really, I love the subtle map. I don't know that I'll necessarily need to go to my share screen now. We did it last week, that vertical line of the spine, and as Karen referred to, and the down, the grounding, the connection of grounding to earth, but also to ancestry, also to nature and culture, also to past. The map that goes kind of up, and that halo, that sense of connecting to spirit, also future, also possibility. All those things are kind of delineated in the map in a way, and then the connection of into our deepest inner heart, that feels so personal. But also that sense of from our hearts we can connect out. Our hearts are at some level as big as the world. Like we can feel our interconnection, and it is vast, and we can do that right here, right now. We can kind of feel our hearts and connect into the space, and it doesn't matter how far apart we are. It wouldn't matter if one of us were on the moon. If we had internet access, we could do this practice, and we could feel our hearts connected. Like space has no, physical distance has no bearing on this kind of connection. So one thing that I think it's important to say, like on the map, things are separate, right? I mean, there's separate body, there's separate emotions, there's separate mind, there's separate earth and sky, there's separate in and out. And I think it's very helpful to have a map that points to separation, because one reason is the fact is we experience separation. I mean, that's part of our experience in our lives, is we often feel separate from others, or one part of us separate from the other part. But at a deeper, truer sense, and a lot of traditions really teach this, there is no separation, right? And I know we've all touched that at times, or in ways of that sense of unity, within ourselves, maybe in a flow state of doing something we love, or a creative moment, or a devotional moment of some sort, or unity with another, or unity with the group, or unity with nature. So we know those experiences. And just as in the tradition of yoga teaches us, I mean, that's the underlying reality. So I wouldn't worry about necessarily trying to separate things if you don't experience them as separate. That's a teaching tool. The map is a teaching tool, because when we can put something on a map, and we kind of find, let's say, a difficulty or a challenge in our world, or in our personal lives, or in our politics, or whatever, it can be very helpful when we come up against some kind of challenge to see where it falls on the map. And that then allows us to move into relation, perhaps, and in practice. But the map is not the ultimate reality. The map is a way for our minds to understand a concept so that we can move into practice. So we don't want to confuse that. Does it make sense? And it's all very easy to do. I love tools, I love maps, I love transformational processes, and and so there can be a little bit of attention to really appreciate their usefulness, but not to fall in love with the tool. The tool is not life. The tool is not love. The tool is a means to a healing or a practice. So I think that's important to understand. And Mary, in a way, I'm attempting to speak to what you said in that. I was appreciating one of the things you said, Karen, which, the halo thing, and how in many ancient, in art, or we might even have a sense when we meet someone, oh, wow, they seem to have a lot of light around them, or a light above their head, or whatever, and it's not by accident. Like the map isn't just one person or even one tradition, like only a cognitive idea to put this map together. Like the map does have a basis in subtle reality. It shows up in all kinds of traditions, and Kabbalah and yoga, and probably Christianity, mystical Christianity, many traditions, probably way more than I know about. So there's certainly it is a thing, you know, and like, for instance, one of the things we'll do today in the guided meditation is I'll invite us to tune into the space above our heads. And it is a thing. And we may or may not connect in that particular way, because there isn't just one way to connect to spirit or light or God. And using the map can at least be a starting point. And then we can start to be very curious and more intimate with what's our way, what really works for us. Um, so, you know, yeah, I guess what I really want to say about the halo and about that reference point in so many ways is that, yeah, that's a real thing. And we can connect with our own halo, our own light, our own potential and possibility. And that's absolutely part of our practice, because it's a resource. It's our future. It's what we're becoming. It's our calling. It's our soul. There's a lot of things that have a connection with the way that light shows up on a map. There's not a right or wrong way to do any of this. So I'm always want to be really careful to not say, hey, if you don't feel light above your head, you know, you're on the wrong path. No, I wouldn't say that at all. But it is a tool and it is helpful. And then I think that's also part of what we're up to, is having our own experience with all of these and noticing what questions come up. And it might be as simple as, oh, I connect with my spirit, but I do it a very different way, but it's really working for me. It's like, it's fueling me. It's undeniable when we feel fueled or more energized or connected. These are not just ideas, these are realities. So part of what we're doing here in this subtle competency practice is we're identifying that maybe there's been something that's been more intuitional, or it's just so natural for us we don't even think of it as a technique or what we're doing, but it actually can be found on this map, and that can be very helpful.